Remember I was telling the governor this was all concrete. Remember it was all concrete? It looked like a jail.
What a change here.
Yep.
My man.
Good. I woke up this morning. Start there, right?
Yeah. You're vertical.
Hey, Steve.
So
I'm out of here. Jerk off up here. No, I'm out. I don't feel good
now.
I'm out.
I'm prepared.
I don't have a fucking chair up here. I'm on the phone. I'll talk to you, brother. Frank, I'll see you, brother. Take care, man.
Good to see you, Steve.
Well, you haven't seen the Senate side. The difference is. That's what I'm trying to get at. Come back over there. I assume, but this is
Right here.
Thank you.
You guys have Teresa? Angelica, you good?
Yes, I'm ready.
You ready to run? You feel okay? Good job. All righty. You're good, Teresa.
Thank you, I'm good. Good afternoon, everyone. It's such an honor to be here today. My name is Teresa Kearney, and I am a teacher at the Gloucester County Institute of Technology. I've been an educator for 34 years, and this pandemic has been a challenging, stressful time for all those years of teaching. I can't imagine. It was so stressful. I never dreamed that this pandemic would be like this. I've seen how it has made an impact and made changes in the educational world just right overnight. It has always been a year since most of the students have been able to come back into the classroom. So we have different ways of getting them back by hybrid and remote scheduling. Providing an outstanding education to students is one of the New Jersey's best attributes. Key is to being able to provide a safe environment in our schools throughout the state. The COVID-19 pandemic generally endangers this setting and affects everyone who enters our school buildings, our students, our teachers, administrators, and supporting staff. It even goes on to affect our communities and families, as it did mine. My son is an EMT and a firefighter, and my daughter is a registered nurse working as an assisted living facility. Today, COVID-19 transmission is a primary concern in the minds of New Jersey parents when they think of in-person learning. While there have been some benefits to remote learning, the best education is often provided by students being physically present in a classroom environment. Dedicated professionals and caring educators will soon be safely leading classroom discussions and giving direct personal encouragement and feedback and facilitating hands-on learning for all our students. Providing this vaccination opportunity to teachers and support staff will greatly reduce the danger that the COVID-19 currently presents to everyone in New Jersey. It will allow teachers in the schools across the state to continue working safely and provide our students with the great education that they all deserve. I would like to take this moment to express a heartfelt thank you to those authorities in both our government and in industry who are providing effective leadership in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic and keeping everyone as safe as possible. The government providing the funds for research, combined with long hours and hard work of the dedicated scientists that have resulted in these vaccines that will help us put our lives back to normalcy. I speak for all New Jersey educators when I say, thank you, Governor Murphy, for your support and making it possible for us. And now, I would like to introduce to everyone the Honorable Phil Murphy, Governor of New Jersey.
Thanks, Teresa. That was so well done. Let's hear it for Teresa. That was incredibly well said, Teresa. And we had the added thrill of seeing you get your vaccine, which was a real treat, along with you and 5 colleagues. Bear with me a second. Steve, I'm considering an executive order that would, beginning this November 1st, from November 1st to March 31st, every year, prohibiting outdoor events.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I
That's what I agree with.
I was saying to Steve and others earlier, I was almost mummified with Judy yesterday in Union City, and it sounds like that could happen again. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the highest performing mega site for vaccinations in the entire state, and one of the highest performing in the country. Thank you, Teresa Kearney, for that introduction, for all you do for your students at Gloucester County Institute of Technology, right next door, I might add, each and every day, and especially for all you have done over the past year, as you said, under extraordinary circumstances and despite extraordinary challenges. To you and your other 5 educator colleagues who just got vaccinated, you are the tip of the spear, the beginning of what's going to be a tremendous campaign. Let's hear it one more time for our educators. I want to thank a bunch of people, but I'll be brief. Our host today, the Rowan College of South Jersey team, who have done an extraordinary job. Dr. Fred Keating, its president. Fred, thank you. To you all, to the state police, to the healthcare workers, the volunteers, the National Guard, everybody inside making the show go. It is so impressive. I'm also honored to be up here among a handful of leaders who are committed, as I am, in getting our educators vaccinated and getting us safely and responsibly back into the classroom. Congressman Donald Norcross, Congressman Tom Malinowski, Senate President Steve Sweeney. I think we may be joined, I hope soon at some point, by Majority Leader Lou Greenwald, Commissioner of Health Judy Persicelli, Acting Education Commissioner Dr. Angelica Allen McMillan, and of course, last but certainly not least, the President of the New Jersey Education Association, Marie Bliston. I also have to acknowledge we've got a ton of folks here. I'm going to be brief, but they need to be acknowledged either as individuals or as a group. Senator Nilsa Cruz Perez, I haven't seen you in ages. Nilsa, great to see you. Senator Fred Madden, Fred, God bless you and thank you for being here. Assemblyman Bill Moen right before me. Chairman John Berzicelli, Assemblyman Adam Teleferro. Adam, where'd you go? There you are. So many others from our legislature. Who else do we have here? We've got Gloucester County Commissioner and his colleagues, Director Bob Daminger, and Bob has done an extraordinary job, and his fellow commissioners. Steve, that's a seat you once sat in, and they've done an exceptional job. The Mayor of Deptford Township, Paul Medani. Paul, where'd you go? Paul and members of council, to you guys, great to be with you. I know I saw earlier the Vice President, Marie, of the Gloucester County Education Association, Ryan Griffin. You and I had a nice chat with him. I want to give him a shout out and to other educators. I'm going to go to the side for 1 second. The Senate, after yeoman's work by Donald and Tom and their colleagues in the House, the Senate today passed the American Rescue Plan. It now goes back to the House for a reconciliation, but this is a big deal for America and a big deal for New Jersey. Well done, guys. And just a quick update on the numbers. 3,105 positive cases today. Sadly, another 37 losses of life confirmed. Hospitalization, 1,862. Judy, that continues to quietly come down. 226 people went into a hospital with COVID yesterday. 247 left. Positivity rate, 7.05. Rate of transmission, 1.06. And we've got variants in our state. Judy, I'm going to practice without a license. It feels like we're starting to see what we probably expected. Transmissions are still out there, particularly with the variants. People are getting it, but the serious illness, the hospitalizations, the fatalities, please God, are beginning to go down. A little bit of a decoupling, and please God that the latter continues. So what we're witnessing today is about doing what is best for Teresa and her colleagues, not just here, but around the state, and what's best for our educational communities and getting all of our schools back open safely for in-person instruction. And these have always been our goals. This is the goal that we set out when we announced on Monday that it was time for our educators and educational support professionals, Marie, the ESPs, to get up to bat for their vaccinations. We all know, as Teresa said, that our children learn best and our educators and support staff are at their best when they're together in their familiar classrooms where the atmosphere of learning is most invigorating. Our mantra has always been in person, but safely, responsibly, equitably for everyone. Certainly getting our educators and support personnel vaccinated poses logistical challenges as well. We know many of our educators and others who were eligible already for one reason or another, a chronic condition, for instance, and who have already been vaccinated. But we also know that there are many thousands who are newly eligible, and we can't expect them to simply walk away from their students mid-lesson from an appointment. It's going to require greater flexibility in scheduling and access, and that's what we're seeing here. Working across the board and at all levels, we will have in place the vaccination program that works best for our educators, from hours that don't eat into the school day to dedicated lanes at mega sites like here at Rowan College of South Jersey, so we can get more of them in and out. So far, we've come a long way. Judy, I looked today, 2,405,816 shots already in the arms as of 10 o'clock this morning from a standing start. I think we've got sort of the next 2 or 3 weeks where it's going to be an incremental increase in supplies from the feds. And then I think I'm going to use the word, Judy, you'll get mad at me, then I think the supply will explode. Later this month, early April, and we will very quickly get to the place sooner than later that anybody who wants, not only will we correct the supply-demand imbalance, but I hope sooner than later anybody who wants a vaccine can get one. I'm grateful for the partnership of everyone here, but I want to give a particular extra shout-out to both Senate President Steve Sweeney and to Marie. They have been strong advocates for getting all educators into the vaccination queue, and we have had many good conversations that have all led to this point. So Steve and Marie, thank you. I also want to give Steve an extra shout out for his advocacy for enhancing access for residents 75 and older. As he points out, there's now a separate building since we were here in early January that allows the flexibility for that and what we're seeing with educators. And I would be remiss again if I don't publicly thank our representatives in Washington and the two stars with us today, Congressman Norcross, Congressman Malinowski, for all they're doing down there to deliver that much needed federal support that our families and communities need to see them through the remainder of this pandemic. With that said, it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce the president of the New Jersey Education Association, Marie Bliston. Marie?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Governor. My name is Marie Bliston, and I'm a very proud New Jersey classroom teacher. I hail here from Gloucester County, from Washington Township Public Schools, very close to this area. And I am very excited to be here because having spent well over 35 years between K and 12th grade, I know that this is a game changer for what it is that our members do every single day. But I am equally as proud to be the president of the New Jersey Education Association, representing well over 200,000 of our school employees. And with me today is the president of Gloucester County, Sue Clark, and the chair of our entire Government Relations Committee for the state, Tina Dare, also, of course, from Gloucester County. It's also great to be here with fellow educators to witness them getting the vaccine, and after just speaking with them each briefly, the excitement, the relief, and the excitement to look forward to seeing their students more regularly inside of our classrooms and our schools every day. You know, when I think about getting our state to move forward past the COVID crisis that has hit not only our state, the world, I can't think of a better jump start than what we have right now when we're talking about vaccinating educators. We have approximately 1.4 million students and kids come into our buildings every single day, well over 200,000 adults across the state, and when you start to look further, it comes out to be approximately 1 in every 6 adults has something to do inside of our school buildings. So I can't think of a larger footprint of an institution than what we have right here in the state of New Jersey with our public schools. And by vaccinating all of our educators, we are making New Jersey, in fact, safer. But I also want to further thank and commend this governor, Murphy, Senate President Steve Sweeney, Congressman Norcross Malinowski, Acting Commissioner Alan McMillan, and Commissioner Persicelli to working to get us to this very point. But not only getting us to this point, looking forward for what we are going to need as we come out of this pandemic. Dr. Fauci and the CDC have proclaimed that prioritizing educators is a must. But we also must include and continue those other mitigating strategies to keep everyone safe. And when I look at the proposed budget from Governor Phil Murphy, it is unprecedented with his commitment to not only New Jersey, but in particular to the public schools and to the children of this state. He has put funds in place that will not only get us through now, but in fact take care of our students' needs when we come back full time and we're completely out of this pandemic. And Senator Steve Sweeney has been particularly responsive to any of those needs inside of our buildings, and I want to give him a call out for the HVAC system in order to have our ventilation systems up to date. Thank you, Senator. And to both Governor Murphy and Senator Sweeney and Senator Ruiz, who came together last year when we saw that we were in a crisis with getting our students what they needed with either an internet device or getting access to the internet. They followed through in unprecedented ways, and I think there's no one in this country who did more than what those 3 individuals did to make sure that our students had those devices. To Congressman Norcross, you've been particularly responsive as well with POSHA and with OSHA in making sure that we have working conditions for workers, standards that can get us through this crisis. And Congressman Malinowski and Congressman Norcross, thank you for your heroics in January. Thank you for representing us so well. And thank you for getting us through what I know will be a wonderful new place for us in New Jersey. To Acting Commissioner Alan McMillan, she's fairly new on the job, but she has been doing an extraordinary job. And when I talk about looking forward, Commissioner McMillan, who started out in the classroom in the north part of the state in East Orange, knows that when we talk about our students' academic needs, the very first thing that we must attend to is their social and emotional needs. And she has made grants available to our schools that we're going to be able to fulfill those needs. And to Commissioner Persicelli, the lady that needs no introduction, as we always say, thank you for your expertise and your advice and guidance to all of us as we come through this. And all of us recognize we're sitting here on this beautiful campus on this cold day, but it's still very beautiful. And we know that our members here, our NJEA members and our staff here work very hard, whether it's a groundskeeper all the way up to any college professor. And so I urge all of us on this stage to work together so that, in fact, this vaccine will also be made accessible to them right away. We pledge, NJEA, to work with all of you, our community members, our elected officials, to making New Jersey the best vaccination accessibility state in the United States, as well as making sure that we have all the support for our schools. We have been ranked #1 the past 2 years for the best public schools, and I always give due credit to all of our school employees who made that happen, but they didn't do it alone. They did it alongside of their school boards, their administrators, their parents, the community members, and our elected officials. And I will close by saying I can't predict the future, but I think that if the next round of those recognitions look at determination, dedication, professionalism, and caring for one another and caring for our children, New Jersey is going to be ranked #1 once again, and we're going to be 10 miles ahead of everybody else. Thank you.
God bless you, Marie. As good as it gets. Kiddo, well done. Let's hear it one more time. Marie Bliston. That was off the charts. And she's got her powerhouse partner in life, Bob Bliston, right here in the front row. Bob, as always. Sue Clark, I didn't see you. Bless you. Tina Dare, thank you so much for everything you do. Assemblyman Bill Spearman has joined us. Bill, great to have you. With that, again, in many respects, he was in my office a week and a half ago. He's been on the phone with Marie and with me and our teams, sort of wargaming. How do we get to educators as fast as we can to get vaccinated, explicitly about how to use the Gloucester County mega site as a means toward that end, and a big assist on our reach out and push out toward the 75-year-old and up cohort. Cannot thank him enough for all the above and so much else. Please help me welcome Senate President Steve Sweeney.
Okay. We got to stop meeting like this. Maybe when it's a little bit warmer, Governor. Every time we're together, it's cold as hell. And that doesn't mean it's a relationship. The relationship is warm. But I want to first thank Governor Murphy. Great leaders are good listeners. And I sat down with the governor about a week and a half ago, I guess, and I said, listen, we need to get our teachers back in the classrooms. We need to bring some normalcy back to our world. You know, kids are struggling. We're all looking at trying to find out how we can start getting a little bit of normalcy, and especially knowing that next September that all the schools are going to be open with kids back in their classrooms, which is critically important. But we're a little bit kind of trying to jump the line a little bit. We want to start getting kids back into school this year. And I want to thank the governor for giving us this opportunity and listening. And working with Marie. Again, Marie, I really appreciate working with you on this because we were communicating quite a bit to make sure that we were all on the same page with this. But I want to recognize Gloucester County's government, the commissioners led by Bob Damager, and especially the leadership of the county administrator, Chad Bruner, because Chad came up. If you look at this site, they've done about twice as number of shots as any of the other sites in the state. And as you watch how people are moving through, the best politics in the world is good government. This is the most efficient, most seamless site in the state of New Jersey, and we're proud of it. And so with that, I talked to the governor and I said, listen, we want to make this a pilot that hopefully we can expand, that other counties in the state will look at. And guess what? Take what we got here and make it even better. It's not about ownership. It's about getting kids back to school. And in talking to legislators from around the state, they all want to see their kids back. I think we all want to see our kids back. We want to pass our bill to make our schools healthy with our air systems. But this current vaccination site vaccinates between 3,600 and 4,400 per day. They're planning on rising to 4,200 to 5,600 per day in the coming weeks. Gloucester County has approximately 4,600 educators and 22 other educational professionals. The mega site will incorporate all Gloucester County school districts into its current vaccination schedule. The mega site will initially start with 100 educators or staff per day between the hours of 6 and 4, right after school, smart thinking, and 800 between 6 and 4, 4 and 6, Monday through Friday, tiered through the age groups, because we do have to recognize age groups from 60 to 50 to move down to 40. The mega site will expand to 800 educators and staff on the weekends, split between morning and afternoon sessions. 1,300 educators and staff could be educated each week and could double that capacity as soon as the week of March 15th. The mega site goal is to fully vaccinate the first and second doses of all eligible educators and staff within 6 weeks. We're already looking to partner with our Inspira and Rowan Medicine to accelerate it even faster. Starting Monday, they're going to start scheduling 1,300 shots a week. This is what it's about, coming back to some kind of normalcy. You know, President Biden was a game changer when he announced that all adults will be able to have vaccines by the end of May. So let's get our teachers and all of our education professionals, including county colleges, we want to make sure that they're included, get them all vaccinated so we can get our students back. Because let's get some kind of normalcy, it's just the right thing to do. But, you know, Governor, if you weren't willing to listen, and when you got everyone coming at you on a regular basis, thank you, because this is going to make a difference. And I said to Judy when we were here earlier, I said to our health commissioner, I said, how lucky were you to get this job like 4 months, right 4 months before? Look, but you're famous now. You're famous in the state. So again, Governor, thank you to our congressional delegation here. One hell of a job. That money is going to make a big difference in the communities in this state. So again, to everyone, this is a big day. So congratulations to everyone. It was a team effort. It's not individuals. It was a team group that got this done. Gloucester starts their mega site for teachers. Hopefully every county will come up with a better plan than Gloucester's, and we get all of our teachers back to school. Thank you.
So well said. Amen, Stephen. Thank you for your leadership. Marie, you would be upset with me if I did not amplify and underscore the need as well to get higher educators to get their vaccinations. And Chad, great work, man. I mentioned Bob and the commissioners, but you deserve let's get one more round of applause here. Well done, man. With that, they've been mentioned already, but their roles in not only working with us to get educators vaccinated so we can safely and responsibly continue to reopen our schools, but the work they've done in Washington, whether it's on OSHA, whether it's on the rescue bill or everything in between, has been nothing short of extraordinary. We've got two great members of our delegation with us today. First up to bat, please help me welcome Congressman Donald Norcross.
Wow, what a great day. Governor Murphy, again, thanks for coming down here. We were in Camden a few weeks ago announcing a major transportation policy change. Commissioner, it's like grabbing hold of the pilot of the Titanic. The difference is we're not going to sink. We're going to stay afloat. We appreciate that. To our acting Commissioner of Education, thank you so much for understanding that our future is and will be always the children who deserve so much better. And it's just ironic to be here today with myself, the governor, Senate President Steve Sweeney, and President NJA Marie Bliston. You know, it's like peaks and valleys of the Rocky Mountains. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's a little bit lower, but it's always beautiful because they're together. And thank you for what you do each and every day, Marie. To our commissioners, second or third time down here, what you're doing, it's like clockwork. People are coming in, and when they go out, they're going out with a smile because they know their life is changing. And as we walked through, we saw the National Guard, and I want to thank them for not only what they're doing here today, but what they're doing down in Washington, 5,000 of them, keeping our democracy safe. Let's give them a round of applause. And quite frankly, to all the essential workers who literally have been keeping our country running, whether you're wearing a uniform that has a badge or scrubs, to those teachers who found a way to continue to educate those young minds, challenging at best. And we know that will only get better when they get back in the classroom, because that's so important. Steve mentioned President Biden. What a remarkable change when you have a plan, when you work together, when you follow the science. Just the changes that have happened in the past few months is remarkable. But that only helps when you have leadership in the state. And again, Governor, for what you're doing here today and what you've done so far, so much we appreciate. He mentioned that the Senate passed the American Rescue Plan, and that's good news. Tom and I will get back on Monday, see what the Senate has done to make sure we're all on the same page, which I believe we will be. But as a former president used to say, trust but verify. We got to make sure that what we're doing is going in there, because we will build back better. But think of this, $20 billion for a national vaccination program, $50 billion to expand testing, because we're not out of the woods yet, $350 billion in emergency funding for state and local governments. That means about $6.5 billion to the state of New Jersey. That keeps teachers in the classroom, police on the street, and all those essential workers. Tom, great job what we've done in the House and what we assume they did in the Senate. But making sure that we were building that public health infrastructure that we need so bad. And there's $10 billion to make sure that PPE is going to be available, because we know it works. This is science. You know, the flu, almost eliminated this year. How many people have been sick? It's not happening. This works, and we're just so happy to see that. But it also means that when kids go back to school, where they belong, where the most effective teaching takes place, we got to make sure that happens, because when we go to open our economy, that is a trusted place where children go. And without them in school, the economy doesn't come back. That's why we're also making sure that child care, almost $670 million for child care is going to be involved. That means Head Start, and it also means almost $900 billion for higher ed right here in New Jersey. So I want to finish where we started by thanking everyone, particularly those essential workers, because we know under the American Rescue Plan, vaccines in the arm, children safely back in school, money in people's pocket, and people back to jobs is what makes this work. We're all in this together. Wear your mask, keep 6 feet apart, and that light at the end of the tunnel is not a train coming at us. That's the end, and it's a good end. Thank you.
That's well said. So well said. By the way, both Donald and Marie made this point, and it's worth underscoring. The vaccine is a huge step, but it doesn't mean we can get sloppy, right? So we still got to do the stuff that you both mentioned, which is, 6 feet, face coverings, etc. Donald, thank you so much for that. I don't know what Tom Malinowski's gene pool looks like, but the fact that he's there with a regular suit on and the rest of us are going through some sort of hypothermia, I don't understand this. But in any event, I know he's a tough guy. I didn't realize he was this tough. Please help me welcome another extraordinary member of our delegation who's been fighting for educators, who's been fighting for funding and everything in between, Congressman Tom Malinowski.
So, thank you, Governor, Senate President Sweeney, Commissioners, Marie. I'm super excited to be here. I think, feel a bit more excited if I'd remembered a coat. But yeah, my gene pool is Polish. I was born in the frigid Baltic Sea in the middle of, well, almost the middle of winter. So I guess I can take it. Look, I just want to say what I think is the main point of today, which is that next to crushing this pandemic, there is nothing more important than getting our kids back into school. What's happened with our kids in this pandemic is the crisis within the crisis. And we've seen the impact. Obviously, our teachers, our school personnel, our educators have done a heroic job trying to manage virtual instruction, hybrid instruction, in some cases in-person instruction. But let's be honest, it's not good enough. It's not good enough for our kids. It's lousy for their parents who are struggling, particularly with the younger kids at home, while they're also struggling to get back to their own jobs, often doing those jobs virtually at home, struggling over the Wi-Fi, struggling to see who gets to use the computer when the kids are in school and the parents are at work. We know this is not good, week after week, month after month. And we also see that it's exacerbating the gap between the opportunities afforded to our public school students and our private school students. Because I know in my district, some of the private schools, better funded, have had the ability to open in person for all their kids before the public schools have. Now, what I just said about the importance of this, everybody agrees. There's no dispute about that. But there is an argument in Washington, in Congress, in the House and Senate, in the debate over the bill that we just passed. There is an argument about schools. One side wants to force the schools to reopen, whether it is safe or not. Our side wants to help the schools reopen safely. And there's a big difference. And we just won that argument, I think, in this legislation and with the decisions that the governor has made here. We are going to reopen schools, but we're going to do it the right way. And that means, number one, we need the resources that are coming in this legislation that are going to help our schools get the ventilation systems that they need, have the space that they need to maintain distance for now between students, amongst the students and the staff. That's what the resources are necessary for. And on top of that, the state and local government direct aid that Don and others mentioned, that's something we've been fighting for literally a year against great resistance. That is a huge, huge victory. And it's not just for the state, it's for our counties, it's for every little municipality in the districts that we represent. So that's number one. But number two, if we want to help open schools safely, we've got to get the shots in the arms. That just makes perfect sense. And President Biden, a couple of days ago, made this absolutely clear, that our teachers and our educators, our school staff, they are essential workers. We should be thinking of them in the way we think about cops and firefighters. Some of them may be younger, some of them may be healthier, but they're all doing an essential job that you cannot zoom in forever, and they're taking a risk to do it. And so it makes sense from the point of view of the greater good of our community and particularly our kids to get them up on the list of people who are prioritized for shots. And that's why President Biden asked us to do this by the end of March. And we're going to do the very, very best we can with the resources that we are sending to you, Governor, to be able to get it done. So I'm super proud to be here with you all, incredibly happy that we're setting off on this very rapid journey to get shots in the arms of every educator so we can get every single kid back in school this year, doing the right thing and doing it the right way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom. Great job, man. Stay warm. Thank you, Tom. So well said. We've got two more speakers, and after that, Steve and I have a 30 or 40-minute PowerPoint presentation that we're on the border of mummified. Marie mentioned it. Steve mentioned it. Again, Tom, thank you for everything. Please stay warm. Dr. Angelica Allen McMillan became our acting commissioner of education right in the teeth of this pandemic. And she came to us from Morris County. As Marie said, she was in the classroom as a teacher as well as a principal. And she's doing an extraordinary job under extraordinarily challenging circumstances. And one of the things I'm particularly proud of, I think we've all touched on this, the last batch of federal money, Angelica, working with Marie and other educators, have designated a big chunk of that to go into programs for learning loss and mental health challenges that our kids and educators are going through. With that, please help me welcome Angelica, Dr. Angelica Allen McMillan.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon. I am pleased to be here with Governor Murphy, Congressman Norcross and Malinowski, Senate President Sweeney, Health Commissioner Judy Persicelli, NJEA President Marie Bliston, and all the educators joining us here today. This past week, we marked 1 year since New Jersey identified its first COVID-19 case. Shortly thereafter, all schools were closed and educators had to quickly pivot to all remote instruction. They faced a seemingly insurmountable task, working to meld old and new technologies to ensure New Jersey's more than 1.4 million students receive a quality education. Today, we mark an important milestone as our educators and school support staff can begin to access COVID vaccinations. The expansion of vaccine eligibility to the pre-K through grade 12 education community demonstrates our commitment to our school staff, students, and their families. Vaccinations are an important step toward fully reopening our school buildings, while also making sure that our educators and students remain safe. Already, New Jersey has reached the milestone of vaccinating more than 2 million residents, and now educators are joining those ranks. We will continue to collaborate with our sister agency, the New Jersey Department of Health, our partners at the NJEA, as well as local school leaders and stakeholders, to ensure educators have access to vaccination sites without interruption of school days. Teachers and school support staff have met this unprecedented year by demonstrating their commitment to education regardless of the circumstances. They've met this moment with grace and strength. They are the embodiment of our Jersey Strong motto, and we are glad to see them join the ranks of vaccinated residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelica. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And please don't take this the wrong way, and thank you for being so brief. We owe you 5 minutes more of extra time in July. Thank you so much. Great leadership. Last but not least, I literally don't know where we'd be without her. And as someone said, she just got into the seat a few short months before the wheels fell off the bus with this pandemic. Please help me welcome the Commissioner of Health, the woman who needs no introduction, Judy Persicelli.
Oh, this is great. It's great to be back here. And if you want to see brief, this is going to be really brief. I can't think of a better place to kick off our immunization program for educators. Governor Murphy, Senate President Sweeney, Angelica, who's been a great colleague in the short time you've been here, Marie, who we happen to speak frequently. She keeps me in line. I want to thank you for that, Marie. All of the elected officials, I'm not going to name all of them because it would interfere with me being brief. But most of all, I really want to thank Gloucester County, all of the volunteers, the vaccinators, the workers who have made this the most successful mega site that we have in New Jersey right now. It is just something to be proud of. The more people we get vaccinated,
the more we put this virus underground, the more we make sure this virus doesn't take over us, that we make sure the virus has absolutely no place to go. I think we all recognize the impact that this pandemic has had on the educational system and particularly the children. Educators have worked incredibly hard to keep students learning, to keep them on track under the most difficult of circumstances. With COVID-19 vaccine distribution underway, a brighter future, not only for all of us, but most importantly, a brighter future for our kids is on the horizon. I want you to know that the scientific achievement of having 3 vaccines approved in less than a year for this pandemic is nothing short of extraordinary. To protect everyone in our communities, we should continue our public health prevention measures, mask up, socially distance, wash your hands frequently. If you're sick, stay home, get tested. And in the meantime, when your chance comes up, let's all get vaccinated. We need to continue to work together to protect our family, our friends, our neighbors. We need to work with all of you to safely open up our schools. Our communities depend on it, our parents depend on it, and most importantly, the children depend on us working together to do the right thing. So thank you.
Bless you. Just slipped Judy a 20 there if you weren't paying attention. Listen, thank you all so much. Rowan College of South Jersey, Fred, for hosting us so graciously, to you and your team, Gloucester County elected officials and senior administration and staff, Deptford Township mayor and council and other folks, to the elected officials, Steve Sweeney, Donald Norcross, Tom Malinowski, to the distinguished members of both the Senate and the Assembly, Marie, to you and your fellow educators up and down this state. As you said, we can't say it enough, we're the #1 public education system in America, and we intend to do whatever we can or must do to keep it that way. Angelica and Judy, thank you for your words. Teresa, to you and your colleagues, what a blessing to meet you. National Guard, State Police, to our veterans, sir, bless you and every one of them. Thank you all so much. If you must, I'll grab a couple of questions off to the side, but I can't put these people into harm's way any longer. God bless you and thank you.